bad situation because of their mistakes.
Yeah, and I mean, like, this is a thing that I've written about and spoken about before. If you don't remember, when Craig Kuligowski was here coaching defensive line, we were missing a lot of guys. And then I wrote about, okay, we need to do different, maybe get him some help on the trail, things like that. He left. We changed the defensive line coach a couple of times, but we've seen how that has developed because there was an issue and then changes were made. Okay, now he decided to leave because, it's easy to coach guys up because you want to coach guys up and everything. But like going out to get, when you're at Alabama, you have other guys who can go do the shopping for you. All you got to do is put the gourmet ingredients together. Now you're at Miami, you got to do the shopping yourself, and that's a little bit of a different proposition. And maybe he wasn't in for that. But you have other guys. Now you change that after saying that was an issue because it was an issue. Now you've changed the paradigm there. You've changed the coach a few times. You still are recruiting to the level that you should be recruiting the defensive line for Miami. But through that entire time, cornerbacks have been barely to the standard, if that. And now, like I said, we only have 5 scholarship cornerbacks and only 3 who have really taken a competitive snap in a game. And we're going up against a team that has a fast quarterback. So you got to pay attention to that. You got a very fast running back. And I mean, look, Tutu Atwell already ran around and threw the whole defense last year. And you got 2 other receivers who are doing numbers for them as well. And now, we're going to walk a safety down. Now, maybe we could. Bubba Bolden and Gervin Hall, they have, coverage abilities, but we're going to now take people from their number 1 positions and try to put them in other positions to cover the deficiency of talent at cornerback. Do we not see how that's a problem?
Yeah, well, and some people talked about moving Bubba Bolden. Sorry, Marsh, I know I've been hogging a little bit.
No, you're good. You're good. I'm just getting worried for this team.
Yeah. So people have talked about moving Bubba Bolden into coverage. But I don't know if people watch, but it's not like Amari Carter was missing assignments and gaps and taking bad angles. I don't want to take a position of strength and dilute it.
I mean,
that makes sense. But I mean, you have to do what you have to do.
You got to do what you got to do, and we have guys who can play safety. We got multiple guys who can play safety. And there were multiple snaps in the opener when you had Gervin Hall, Bubba Bolden, and Amari Carter on the field together. If you got to do that, you got to do that because those are 3 future NFL players. And I've been saying that if this is a position of strength, I think this is the strongest position on the defense. This year, especially with Russo out. Otherwise, I would say defensive end. But with him out, even though the defensive ends are the 1A or the number 2 for me, I think that safety has that kind of talent. And then you add in the talent behind those guys as well. Yeah, you got to put the best 11 out there. And if that 11, includes 3 safeties and all 3 of them and, moving around who plays where, walking, whomever down or out or whatever it is, then you got to do whatever you got to do. But, I'm past the point of caring about your feelings.
Yeah.
It's about getting the job done.
Yeah.
And if you're not about this work to get that job done, then with all due respect, I'm going to go find somebody who can get the job done. And if you want to be hurt about it, that's on you. Yeah. But I'm trying to win these games. Why? Because it's about this you. And if you're not good enough to be out there right now, then instead of talking about the coaches are hating or politics or da-da-da-da, maybe you need to get in tune with your star player in the mirror and talk to yourself and say, hey, self, maybe I need to stay after. Maybe I need to find somewhere to run sprints. Maybe I got to do some push-ups in my dorm room. Maybe I got to get in the hallway of whatever dorm I live in and do some sideways shuffles so I can get my hips, whatever I got to do. To get on that field as opposed to saying the world's against me. Fine, we're the Miami Hurricanes. The world's against us all the time. You're going to be with us on this side, or you're going to be somebody inside of our building talking about, oh, we're against us as well. Nah, man. I'm not about that life. If you're not about that life, just like Ed Reed said, if you're not about that work, you don't want to be here, we'll find somebody who's here. That's it.
Woo! Yeah. All right, I'm ready to go do some up-downs or something like that.
But that's real. Like, we, especially – and everybody listening to this, honestly, you know this. It's always been the Miami Hurricanes against the world. Everybody hates us.
Yeah.
We're the dynasty that was never supposed to be. Within a 40-year span, we won 5 championships. Honestly, could have 7 or 8 if things broke differently, or if Terry Porter, the Miami, or the alum of that other school in the state south of Michigan, didn't screw us out of that championship. We would have had at least 6. You know what I mean? Like, it's always been us or the world against us. I don't need anybody in the Hecht Athletic Center or the Sulphur practice facility or whatever, the Dwayne Johnson locker room, meeting room. I don't need anybody inside of that unit, of that place, against us also. Because everybody on the outside is all of the time. Yeah. So either you're all in with us, or with all due respect, you can GTFOH, because I don't need you here if you're not here with us. Because every time that we go out, every time we wear orange, green, white, whatever color jersey, everyone is against us. So we have to be together.
Yes, sir. I love it.
Absolutely.
I love it. Okay. All right. I need to ask you about the linebackers. Okay. So I rewatched the game on Friday, I believe it was, and love him to death. Zach McCloud looks slow. And and Brad Jennings, he's a sure tackler, but he's kind of slow. What are your thoughts on the linebacker position? Do you think Sam Brooks should get the start, or just because this is a fast-paced offense, they love they're going to run a sideline to sideline. They're going to use Tutu on those jet sweeps. They're going to run Hawkins to the outside. How are you feeling about the linebackers? And do you want to see Sam Brooks get more playing time?
I want to see Sam Brooks and Avery Huff get more playing time because we need that athleticism out there. That's the thing that we've all talked. You and I talked about this when we got those wings and we're talking about entourage. Look, man, the linebacking core is so much more athletic, to sound like Magic Johnson. We're more athletic this year, right? We're faster this year. And we're playing guys who are not, but we have guys who are, you know what I mean? We're playing guys who are as slow as, Pinckney was quick but not fast. And then Quarterman, he was just, he started 97 games at Miami, so he knew all the tendencies of everybody, and that made him play a little bit faster, which is great because Shaq Quarterman was great here. But then you got guys who are that kind of same foot speed, but not as mentally quick, which then slows down their play on the field a little bit. And that's going to be key this week particularly. You know what I mean? We need that foot speed because, we're going to have to be able to get there. Whatever linebacker is, on the field side, the wide side, you know what I mean? And then you're going to have to chase a jet sweep or get out there to a bubble screen or whatever that they're doing. You got to be able to move. And yeah, I think that Zach McCloud and Bradley Jennings Jr., while being very stout against the run for the most part, they even missed some run fits in the opener, but they were pretty good against the run. If you're going to play in space, then I need some guys who can move a little bit more. So I don't really care if it's 9 or 6, that being Huff or Brooks, but I need to see one or both of them out there a lot because they're going to have to run. It's just going to be that kind of thing. They're going to have to move.
Yeah. I was like almost – because I've been very hyped on McCloud coming back for his senior year, and I think I was more excited on the – level of him being a positive influence in the locker room and just a veteran guy and things like that. I didn't really take into instance that he missed a few tackles there early on and he just didn't look quick, but we talk about the linebackers every damn episode on here.
Well, but also UAB did run all kinds of misdirection, and that is for the specific reason to make you a half step slower because you're thinking and you got a jet sweep or you got jet motion, and then that guy goes and then you reset, but then you're coming back the opposite way with orbit motion. Then you're going inside zone, or you're looking like it's going to go outside zone to this side, but then you're actually running a triple option because you got the outside zone going left and then you pull it, and then you got a option going this way, but then you got receivers going this way. So there's a lot for them to process. And I think that was what could have affected, and I think it did affect the fact that at least early they were a half step slow because it's like there's so much window dressing going on. And that's going to be a thing again this week. So, we'll see. But I think that maybe that also mitigated some of the quickness that they can play with because they had to diagnose what was actually happening.
Yeah, that's totally understandable. Okay, so let's switch sides of the ball. The offense, I knew that it was going to be sloppy. Just being at the first game, I was very, very impressed by the run game and the totals of that. Passing game, De'Ara King, he did what he had to do, and we got 31 points. And I don't think Canes fans are really understanding what a big deal 31 points is. But Jordan, he thought it was a little sloppy, and so did I. I think we were both in the same boat there. What did you think about the new Rhett Lashley offense? I know we've talked about it all off season, but we've been asking for this for 15 years. And you can ask Jordan because we watched the game together. When we were getting up to the line and running these plays, I was like, oh my God, like this is unbelievable. Like this is what we've been waiting for. What were your thoughts on the offense? And then do you think we're going to see more of the playbook this Saturday? And do you see kind of the the same performance on Saturday?
I mean, in general, it's, again, that spread system that I too have been hoping for many a year. So seeing it actually run is a great thing. The tempo was good. We ran more plays. I think we ran like 78 plays, and I think the high last year was 67. So you're already increasing that number, which is good. You have some good performance in the run game, just to kind of lean on that. That was kind of a game of staples, if you will. So we're going to run what we run, and we're going to run it all the time, basically. I saw Danny Gould, he charts the games and puts up stats. Like, we ran our zone read 22 times, and De'Aaron King kept 0 of them last week. And that was because, UAB kind of played it neutral and just like, hey, like, I'll take 4 yards by giving it to the running back, and it doesn't look sexy, but 4 yards of carry all the way down the field and you score a touchdown. You know what I mean? So there's going to be wrinkles. You're going to eventually see De'Aaron King keep the ball on a zone read, and then you're going to build off of that into the triple. And actually, you almost made it into, no, we saw it, because on the one where he overthrew Jeremiah Payton butt naked wide open in the end zone. You remember that one where he was rolling out and the cornerback rolled up and then he was wide open, and then he sailed that one. He just completely and totally missed a wide open throw, and sometimes that happens, but that was the one play that you could see off of the base offense that was a little bit of a wrinkle. So that's going to be a thing. And then also, just, I don't even need dynamicism out of the passing game. I just need better production. It could be even kind of pedestrian. I'll take 9.5 yards of completion with 12 yards an attempt, which is a step forward from where it was. But yeah, I mean, missing quite a couple throws or open opportunities in the passing game, that's the thing that's going to need to update. And yeah, we're not going to be able to lean on the same 5 plays, especially in the run game, like we did against UAB, just because it came to a point where they just couldn't stop it. But no, I'm a fan of the offense. I like just the fact that we're running this kind of a scheme, but there's still room for improvement and development. And I hope that is what we see coming on, Saturday evening.
Okay. And I got to ask you about the wide receivers. Jordan and I are the presidents of the D Wiggins fan club. But other than him, we've been a little bit more skeptical on, guys like Pope. I'm honestly a little skeptical on Peyton. I think a lot of people are putting senior year expectations upon a redshirt freshman. And he has the talent to put up some great numbers, especially in this offense. How do you grade the receivers from last week, and are you skeptical about that unit moving forward? Do you want to see more true freshmen, in that rotation early and getting, looks? So how do you feel about the wide receivers?
I mean, obviously it wasn't great because the passing game wasn't great. So, you can't only throw for 144 yards and then look at them as great. Plus the fact, Brevin Jordan had 51 yards receiving. So you're talking 80 something for everybody else. And then Cam Harris, as I'm thinking, he had that dump off pass. So you're only talking about 50, 60 yards receiving from the wide receiving corps at the University of Miami. That's not good enough.
Shit.
Yeah. Quick math there, right? And then all of a sudden you're like, you're in the 60s, maybe in the 70s for like how many yards the wide receivers had. No, that's not good enough. Yes, and it's funny, I was going to say it, but I didn't want to interrupt you. So it's just you and Jordan in the D Wiggins fan club, right? It's just a 2-seater?
Yeah, there's only 2 of us.
He's made some plays, but I need everybody to step up. I need, guys to really grow up, or I need other guys. And honestly, like, if we're seeing all this stuff and hearing all this stuff about my guy, Keyshawn Smith, learn the name, and Xavier Restrepo doing all kinds of things out of the slot, and within the run game, he even had an 80-yard touchdown, a run in a scrimmage, and like you see them celebrating and all these kind of things. You see Michael Redding III, who's the biggest physical guy in the wide receivers room as a true freshman. You keep seeing and hearing about them doing things, but we don't see them anywhere on the depth chart. And people are like, oh, we're playing a walk-on and everything. Marshall Few was a preferred walk-on, but he was also an 1,100-yard receiver and first-team All-State in high school. So that's a guy with plenty of talent. So, don't think that this is some kind of Jimmy Murphy charity case kind of a thing. He's a good locker room guy. No, Marshall Few has skills. But just on the other side of that,
Jimmy's gonna haunt your dreams now.
He absolutely will not, because I don't think about him, and I won't think about